Hey everybody, this is Alvaro Cortez, aka Lance Danger. Yesterday I wasn't able to do much for the 100 days of making comics, as I put in the description box in yesterday's very short video. It was an extremely long day. I was out most of the day. I did most of the thumbnailing and layouts that I did yesterday while I was in Central Park in the morning waiting to get tickets for Shakespeare in the Park. I was there bright and early in the morning to be able to get tickets because it was the final performance of the season for the free Shakespeare in the Park, and it was Cymbeline. It was pretty awesome. It was the second time my girlfriend and I watched that show. It's pretty good, actually. I really liked it. We both really did. And there was a whole mess with the trains yesterday, and places that would normally take us like 15 minutes to get there took like maybe an hour, more than an hour to get there. Trains were running in reverse, or rather contrary to the direction they usually go to. Trains would stop randomly running, and trains that weren't supposed to run that day were running, but then randomly stopped running again. So it was chaotic yesterday in the metro system. It usually is in New York, really. The metro system, the MTA is just usually messed up, but it was a bit more than usual yesterday, let's just say that. So that was pretty crazy. I didn't get to do much yesterday. I didn't get to do much today either. I was pretty busy doing school stuff. For those who don't know, I may have mentioned it before, but I'm going to school now. I'm going to start in September officially. I'm going to school as I am majoring in fine arts, and later on, hopefully, if everything goes as planned, I'll be able to get into SVA here in New York, which has been my dream school for the longest time, really. So today I did mostly thumbnailing and writing down plot points on the train ride to school today. I had this orientation I had to go to. So that's pretty much the past 2 days in a nutshell. Like, not quite as much done as I would have wished I could have done. Saturday I had a pretty big day drawing 2 pages of the remake of my comic, and if I sound even more zombie than Zombie Alvaro right now, or Zombie Lance, I've probably had 4 hours of sleep combined the past 3 days or something like that. I've slept very little, and amongst other things, that has me a little physically worn out. So that's pretty much it for today, and that brief explanation of yesterday as well. Like, I wanted to try to do the video from my phone at the theater at least, but the audio wasn't picking up right because, of course, it was pretty crowded and there was quite a bit of noise, so I wasn't really able to do it, and the lighting wasn't the best either. So yeah, sorry about that one, about that video. I almost feel like just taking it down, but I don't like doing that. I like to keep even the stuff that I feel like I messed up, like, I like to kind of keep it out there just to show, like, hey, everyone is flawed and doesn't hit 100 or 1,000 every time. So I like to leave that stuff up there, kind of like one of my much older videos that I made. I believe it was when my webcomic was going to appear in this digital app for digital comics for sale. It was something kind of like a Comixology app, but it was more indie. The name I can't recall the name right now, and I did that video kind of like promoting the app that the comic was going to be available soon in that video, and I did it intentionally bad. I wanted it to be kind of like troll too bad, kind of like, I don't know, trying to make it off as a joke how bad it was, but apparently I did it a little too bad because it turned out to be my most disliked video right now. Even though it's one of my most viewed videos, it's also my most disliked video. And like, and it even had like an after effect, because afterwards, like, the next two videos got a couple of thumbs down as well. Like, I think it was like a domino effect of some sort. So yikes. Like, I believe the last time I saw that video, it was like equal likes and dislikes or something like that. It might have had one more dislike than likes, but you know, it was a good idea at the time, as the old cliche would say. But again, like, I didn't take it personally. If anything, I just really laughed loudly when I saw all those dislikes. I saw a lot more dislikes before I started to see a couple of likes in there. It was like, I did my job a little too good to be bad, if that somehow makes sense. Like, yeah, like, I don't know what that has to do with 100 days of making comics, but I don't know, I guess you can take that as motivation of not letting anything like bring you down, like harsh criticism or dislikes or whatever. Like, when it comes to creativity and putting your work out there, you just have to take whatever is positive, even from whatever negativity there is. Like, I don't mind criticism at all. Like, if there is like honest, constructive criticism, I always appreciate it. I always let the person know, like, hey, I don't feel offended by this. I appreciate the honesty, and if there's merit to that criticism and I feel like I can maybe change or develop or evolve from it, like, you know, I'll listen to it and I'll try to apply whatever is applicable. And even if I don't necessarily agree with one criticism or another, I'll still respect the honesty, and I'll let them know, like, hey, I really respect your honesty. Like, it's really no skin off my nose. What would like bother me is if it's like more destructive criticism, like just saying it sucks for the sake of saying that something sucks. Like, it's not something that'll get me mad. It used to maybe get me a little bit down before, but even that now, I just find that amusing. Like, I just don't really let it faze me anymore. Because again, like I think I mentioned this a couple of videos back, or in some other video, maybe in one of my podcasts. If you receive 100% feedback, 100% positive all the time, then there's something wrong. Like, probably somewhere along the line, someone's lying to you to not hurt your feelings or something, you know. And in the perfect world, like, maybe there is you will have something that's universally acclaimed or whatever, but as the old saying goes, like, if you have people that hate on your things and that hate on it with a passion, really, then you know you're doing something right. And definitely, I think that's a good barometer, that's a good rule of thumb to an extent, to know that you're not perfect, and in another aspect also that you can't please everyone, and also know that sometimes people just hate for the sake of hating, and it's nothing really personal against you or even against the work itself at times. It's just sometimes people are like that, and sometimes I'm guilty of trying to see the best in everybody, which is a good trait to have, I guess, but sometimes you have to realize, and sometimes you learn the hard way, that some people just are the way they are, and there's no explanation behind it, there's no analyzing behind it, there's nothing you can really do about it. It's just some people just hate for the sake of hating, or they may pick up on one reason, and as nonsensical or illogical as it is for you, it's a reality for them. So again, the key is to not take it personally, unless it goes like way over the top, like maybe insulting your family and friends and stuff like that. Then that's just like stepping over boundaries that really shouldn't be stepped over, in my opinion, because it's just art, and art is supposed to evoke emotions as well, but it can't. There are times where you really do have to stand up for yourself if the situation merits it. Like, if it's within the context of you believing that you have to defend yourself, then many times you have to take a stand, because you also have to stand up for what you believe in as well, and not let people necessarily push you around, especially on the internet where there's so many keyboard warriors out there. And I think I'll cut it short here. I don't want this day 29 of 100 days of making comics to turn into like day 1 of Alvaro's soapbox or whatever. So I'm going to cut it short now. Well, not short, like the video is almost 13 minutes long now, right now. Well, at least the audio anyway, because again, like, camera problems. I haven't even been able to try to resolve that these past 2 days, because it's been very hectic on a personal scale. So I'm going to stop this video now. I'm going to try to will myself to work on more stuff today before I pass out on the table. And hopefully tomorrow, which will be a bit of a lighter day for me, I'll be able to take advantage of these precious week and a half that I have before starting school again. So if you made it this far, thank you for listening. And again, if there's one thing you can take away positive from all this rambling that I suddenly went like on a different kind of tangent, is don't take comments on the internet personally, or even comments from people in real life like too personally, because in the end of the day, you're creating art and you're honestly expressing yourself, and only you can express your own uniqueness and individuality that nobody else can ever reproduce exactly 100% what you can do, for better or worse. And sometimes you just have to take it on the chin, and again, whatever positive you can take from any criticism, you definitely take them. If it's just negativity, and just spiteful, more mean comments, like, again, as long as it's not something that goes overboard and it doesn't go like incredibly personal, in a sense of like attacking you as a person, then it's okay to just let it slide, really, in my opinion, because those criticisms really don't have any kind of value other than just wasting time, really. So, just go with it. Just keep doing what you're doing, whatever it is. Don't let anybody talk down to you, and just don't pay attention to any troll or whatever, and just stand strong behind your ethics and moral code and your artistic soul, and sooner or later all those voices will be drowned out from all the positive voices. So that's usually the case anyway. So just hang in there. This victory wasn't as flawless as I would like it to be, but there's no such thing as an ugly victory. So thank you all for listening. Wow, my voice is already starting to crack. That's not good. I'm probably going to pass out as soon as I stop recording, as soon as I upload the video, most likely. But anyway, thank you all for listening to these ramblings of a half awake artist, and catch you all later.